This week's player profile is sponsored by all the fine people at Shamrocks, 2510 North Kings Highway, across from Myrtle Square Mall.
Another of Coastal Carolina's great athletes, 6'7", 202-pound Spencer Saunders. The Union, South Carolina native chose the Chanticleers and had good reason for doing so.
It was kind of a hard decision for me, because I really didn't care about distance as far as going to school, and I just saw that Coastal was a nice program and it had a winning program, and it gave me a good chance to play behind some good players, you know, to learn the ropes and then just come in and play as hard as I could and help the team out.
He liked the facility here, he liked the campus, and of course we knew about him, we were recruiting him, and basically we talked him into signing over the phone. So it was a great signee for us, especially being from Union, South Carolina.
One distinctive word to describe the sophomore swingman: versatile. Sanders can fill in just about anywhere.
With his size and ability to run the floor, he can go inside, he can go outside. He's got a nice shot all the way to three-point range, and has proven that this year by hitting some nice three-point shots.
He's a player that can help us because he can play more than one position. He's capable of stepping out and playing the three position, even knocking in the open three, and at the same time he can come in, play the 4 and the 5 a little bit and rebound. So he really helps us because of his versatility.
Well, I just try to come off the bench and play as hard as I can and hustle and just score points at an opportune time.
For Spencer Saunders, well, he's a top candidate for most improved player from last year. He works very hard and earns every minute of playing time.
Spencer is someone who come in and practice hard every day. He lifts up the first team by playing hard on the second team, and he's earning his minutes by playing hard in practice.
Spencer is of course a sophomore this year, and he's really worked hard on making his inside and outside game and becoming more physical. He's come off the bench and really given us some good play in every game this year, and we just look for him to get better and better.
This week's player profile has been sponsored by Shamrocks. For the best in food and good times, it's Shamrocks, 2510 North Kings Highway, across from Myrtle Square Mall.
That familiar Red Fox number 15 is now number 12 in Charlotte. Quarterback Jacob Shoemate is showcasing his skills during preparations for the Shrine Bowl.
Well, you know, I can run as well as throw. I just run the offense real well, good leadership, I think. That's about it.
Joining Shoemate on the South Carolina team is Hartsville teammate Jody Caldwell. The linebacker is glad he's out there. Maybe the extra contact can help ease the pain of a state final loss.
It does kind of help. I mean, to help get over, because it was a hard loss. I kind of hate it for the kids on my team that can't play no more, but it does help to get over it.
Although the weather is damp and miserable out here, it hasn't dampened the fun or hard work of a group of 4 Wpde area kids. They know that this possibly is their last chance to shine for college scouts.
Well, I'm really trying to prove that I am I'm a pretty good football player, and that, Dillon is a place that good football players come from, and everything that, in the future that they can hopefully look and recruit some more players from Dillon.
We're trying to accomplish a win this weekend. We're practicing very hard. As you know, it's cold outside, and we try not to worry about the weather, and it's just wanting to win it.
Which is the driving factor for the elite of the PD. In Charlotte, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. In 1989, Bill Frieder got Michigan to the NCAA tournament, but was fired before postseason. Steve Fisher took over and led the Wolverines to a championship. It's kind of the same in Clemson. Ken Hatfield did the regular season work, but it's up to the new head coach, Tommy West, to lead them to victory.
I'm seeing more and more every day why this has never been done before. It's tremendously difficult. You know, we had to put the names on the headgears today so the coaches knew who the players were.
Everybody's excited, you know, a bunch, you know, enthusiastic about the new coaches coming in. You know, didn't nobody know really what to expect from the new coaches, and the coaches didn't know what to expect from the players. But today, you know, everybody was hustling around, you know, just enjoying, you know, the new atmosphere.
It's new to most of the players, but maybe just renewed to some of them. Tommy West spent 8 years in Clemson as an assistant.
I can remember Coach West when I was in my first year with Coach Ford or whatever. And back then, you know, there was just like a known toughness about Clemson or whatever. And I think that's one thing they want to get back or whatever.
The consensus is, well, the attitude is back, but there still is one very important chore yet to accomplish.
I would hope we would at least know their names by the bowl game. Would make it a lot easier on me in the press conference after the game, I'm sure. I won't have to carry the media guys with me, I hope.
Neither South Carolina nor Clemson went to bowl action on New Year's 1993. In fact, Clemson struggled at the end, but the Gamecocks ended with a boom, winning 5 of their final 6 games. Basketball, a different story. Gamecocks head coach Steve Newton resigned amid controversy and NCAA allegations of illegal recruiting. To the east, well, better news. Coastal Carolina returned to the NCAA tournament for the second time in 3 years, only to lose to Michigan in round 1. But hats off to Coastal's greatest, 4-time Big South Player of the Year, Tony Duncan. To the north, Charlotte made the playoffs for the first time in the NBA and provided me with possibly the greatest ending in an NBA game. Late March, Georgia Tech head coach Bobby Cremins announced he would be the Gamecocks' next leader, then reneged 4 days later. April Fool's Day was one that turned to tragedy. Alan Kulwicki was killed in a plane crash just days after competing in the Trans-South 500 at Darlington. The NASCAR family mourned its fallen, defending Winston Cup champion. South Carolina was still in the hunt for a basketball coach. Vanderbilt's Eddie Fogler was the man brought in to save a struggling program. Back to the NASCAR season, it flew by with Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt battling for the title, but more tragedy. Davey Allison was attempting to land his helicopter in the infield of Talladega Superspeedway. He lost control and died the following day. NASCAR lost its favorite son. The season went on, but didn't forget number 28. On the season's final day, Rusty Wallace took the checkered flag, while Dale Earnhardt took over the reins of Winston Cup champ that Alan Kulwicki left behind. 1993 ended with change. Both Clemson and USC looked elsewhere for football leaders. For the Gamecocks, Sparky Woods was out. Florida State assistant Brad Scott was in. At Clemson, Ken Hatfield said goodbye to the Tigers and hi to the Rice Owls. Former assistant Tommy West is in and will lead the Tigers to the Peach Bowl on this 1993's final day. You've heard the term All-American kid. Well, I might just have stumbled upon the definition. It's Florence Christian's David Barry. He started life off on the right track, growing up learning from within the family.
He's the youngest one, and his brothers are both taller and bigger than he is. And so he's always been the runt. He has grown up playing behind his bigger brothers, and it has really helped him develop.
They've had a lot. They're the ones that taught me how to bang around in the paint and how to take the foul and make the basket too. And that's most of the time I can make it when I get fouled. It's when I'm open when I can't make it.
At 6 foot 4 inches, 180 pounds, he's hardly small at his position. David plays guard for the Eagles and scores in bunches. But maybe it's the other things he does that might catch college scouts' attention.
I try to hustle, do my best all the time, and I try to do what it takes to win the game, whether if it's a pass or a steal or just a shot to make a shot. That's what I try to do.
He just doesn't want to get beat. He just wants to win every time when he goes on the court. No matter what it takes, he's going to do his best to do what it takes.
David hustles. He puts forth maximum effort in everything he does, and he is a good athlete. He's strong, and he just puts forth maximum effort.
And that's what's going to carry David forward in the future.
I'm just waiting for the best offer, if I even get an offer. I'm not even sure if I might not even get a scholarship. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play in college, but as far just wherever the Lord leads me to go.
Gamecock defense, the best part of South Carolina in 1993, 5th in the conference, 28th nationally. Now add new defensive coordinator Wally Burnham, and there's already excitement on the other side of the ball.
Wally brings a tremendous amount of experience, but mainly a great teacher of the game, and I'm very excited to be bringing who I consider one of the strongest coaches on the Florida State staff with me here to Carolina. So
we're going to go 60 minutes after you. We're not going to sit back. We're going to make things happen. You know, we're going to have a philosophy. We're going to sell the farm sometime.
The philosophy's great, but you need the athletes. The USCD returns Tony Watkins, Terry Cousin, Stacey Evans, and Norman Green. All fit the Burnham mold. Add a few more, and most of the pieces to the puzzle will be there.
We're going to get size for speed, quickness, and endurance. And it's not a big people's game as far as the way we play defense. We let our kids play, and we turn them loose and don't tie them down. And if you get in the right type of kid that can run and hit and make plays, then they have a lot of fun.
When you're having fun, success usually follows. Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Now that's American. Country music, red, white, and blue, and NASCAR. Car owner Jack Roush, driver Ted Musgrave, and their new sponsor have teamed up for 94.
On the Family Channel, they were into NASCAR racing a little bit last year with the Ellen Kowicki team, you know, helping them support that team for the rest of the season. And seeing the publicity and stuff they could get for themselves on nationwide television. And now going an all-out effort this year with Roush and myself, you know, as the driver.
Look close because this team could be together for some time. Musgrave might just follow in good friend Mark Martin's footsteps.
Mark told me he's going to retire there. So evidently that's a situation where you get there, you know, it works out so well that you don't want to go anywhere else. You know, it is a first-class operation. So, you know, like I say, I may retire there myself.
But all eyes are on year number 1. For this season, no testing in December. So Musgrave and company can't wait to hit the track in Daytona on Monday.
You know, the first of the year starts a new year, and that's when you can start testing. So that's new this year. We usually have been down there already twice, and it's getting the drivers a little nervous, you know, staying around not doing nothing. So I'm excited to get going and get down there.
In Myrtle Beach, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. A welcome back to the Southeast. The Atlanta native went west to play basketball in the Big 8 Conference, but decided against being a Sooner. Not long after his freshman year, Hicks was a shot to clear.
Kiki Hicks wanted to transfer from Oklahoma, and fortunately I was good friends with Billy Tubbs, the head coach of the University of Oklahoma, and he talked to us about the situation of him transferring here, and we talked to Kiki about it, and basically it was a done deal. Kiki knew and heard about our program and had respect for our program and thought that Coastal was a place that he could come in and get some immediate playing time, and fortunately enough for him, it worked out.
Well, I'm very happy with my decision. When I first came here, you know, I looked around or whatever, and that team, they had a losing record that year, and I was kind of wondering, what have I done or whatever. But it's worked out real well. You know, I'm pretty happy with what I've done.
Well, that losing record changed. Last season, Hicks played a major role in Coastal going to the Big Dance. Kiki averaged 20 points a game in the Big South tournament.
What really turned me on was I knew they had an automatic big, and I knew I had a chance to, you know, play a big part in their program.
Kiki Hicks, a major welcome to this Coastal Carolina basketball team. When you check out the statistics, well, the reasons are obvious, but he's added a lot more. He's brought this team closer both on and off the court.
I think he'd be the first to tell you he's matured a lot. You know, I mean, I think he's taken a lot more responsibility off the court as far as what he thinks the team needs to be doing and how we need to act and what we need to do off the court to help ourselves on the court as far as winning games and what kind of attitude we need to bring to practice every day.
I'm a player who is always looking for a shot, a player who likes the open court game and like to try to play with a lot of intensity.
First of all, he's a very competitive person, and he works really hard every day. Gives us a lot of leadership, and you know, whenever guys aren't where they're supposed to be or playing as hard as they should be, he lets them know, and it really helps us.
Last season, Coastal crawled into conference play. The Chants lost 4 of 6 before the Big South. This season, Coastal's coming off a 33-point loss to Evansville.
It just doesn't sit very well when we get beat like that. I mean, we got embarrassed at Evansville, and we're looking forward to going into the conference and proving that we can play well again. I think, you know, 2 out of the last 3 games we haven't played well.
We wanted to come in to the Big South being 6-2 instead with 5-3. Yeah, we would have liked to have come in here with a better record and on a better note, but we didn't. So we're just going to have to pick it up in practice and, you know, try to get some positive things from the Evansville game and take it into conference play.
Actually, there was a positive. Coastal turned the ball over just 12 times, a season low. It was the 25% shooting that did in the Chants.
I think the biggest thing is we've got our shot selection has got to improve. We still have a tendency to take some bad shots, and of course that hurts when you have good shooters taking poor shots, normally end up with poor results.
Against Winthrop last season, the results were positive, a 3-game sweep. In Conway, Ken Slats, 15 Sports.
This week's player profile is sponsored by all the fine people at Shamrocks, 2510 North Kings Highway across from Myrtle Square Mall.
South Carolina native John Lewis has returned home. The 6'4" swingman's arrival at Coastal Carolina was temporarily put on hold, but now he is a Chanticleer.
Coach Russ Bergman recruited me out of high school, and after I went to junior college, I gave him a call, and he still followed me all throughout junior college, and I gave him a call, and I'm here.
John Lewis has been a great addition to our program. He comes to us from Sumter, South Carolina. He comes to us from a junior college out of Mississippi. He's a player we signed because we thought we needed some more outside scoring, especially against the zone. And John Lewis has really given us some great games off the bench, especially against South Carolina. And as of late, he's even starting for us.
John Lewis, proof that hard work pays off. Since his arrival, his numbers have gone up, especially minutes played.
The biggest adjustment has been to realize how hard you have to play all the time, you know, for 40 minutes or whenever you're called on to play, and not just pick your spots. And, you know, it's a big adjustment for any player from high school to college or junior college to Division I.
I don't think we get caught up a lot in labeling whether we're starters or non-starters, because, I mean, there's going to be games where he's going to have to play more minutes and sometimes more quality minutes than starters. So, you know, he just knows he has to be ready and has to be ready to perform when he's called upon.
John Lewis is used to being the star of his basketball team back in Sumter High School and at Meridian Junior College. This season, he's learned to live with his role, and it's still going to be a crucial part of Coastal's success.
Joy Hart and Muhammad Archer, they're good players, and I see myself just coming off the bench, giving them a breather, and I just got to accept my role coming off the bench because I'm used to starting. I started in high school, started in junior college, and now I'm just accepting my role as coming off the bench.
You got to have good bench play to do well, and especially around tournament time, we're going to need good bench play. So John is very important to our team for scoring and for defense and enthusiasm.
This week's player profile has been sponsored by Shamrocks. For the best in food and good times, it's Shamrocks, 2510 North Kings Highway across from Myrtle Square Mall. This week's player profile is sponsored by all the fine people at Shamrocks, 2510 North Kings Highway across from Myrtle Square Mall.
Philip McLean, no different than the rest, and admits it. Coastal Carolina has an advantage in recruiting, one that's been earned.
I heard about how good the program was and how successful they were in the past, you know. And it was located in a great spot, so I decided to come.
He's a person that we saw at Prep Stars All-Star Camp at the end of his junior year, and we liked him, and we recruited him hard at the end of his senior year, and we were fortunate enough to sign him. We thought that he was a player that had a lot of raw talent, that if we could help him develop, he had a chance to be one of the better big men in the Big South.
Most improved player this season, no doubt about it, is Philip McLean. He's about as tall as they have on this year's Coastal Carolina's team, and he's going to play a major role come end of the season.
He's improved a lot since last year, and he's going to continue to improve, I believe. And I think he plays as hard as he can all the time, and when he gets more confidence, I think he's going to get better each game.
To be the player I want to be, I need to work more on my outside shooting and my ability to handle the ball. And also, I need to work on my free throw shooting.
A lot of people expect a lot out of him, and maybe a little bit too much too soon, but you've got to remember he's only a freshman eligibility-wise, so all his basketball's in front of him.
But the expectations are high in 1994. Coastal lacks size on the inside. For a return trip to the NCAA tournament, they need a lot from Philip McLean.
I think he's starting to realize, how important his role is on the team. He started early in the year and didn't feel completely comfortable with that, and I think sometimes he put too much pressure on himself, but now he's starting to relax and understand what it's like to play on the road and at home and in big arenas.
I know he plans on being a big part of it, but that's definitely true. It'll make a difference. Also, most everyone in the league, most everybody we've played this year is bigger than us, particularly taller than us. So down the line, he could be one of the people that make a big difference.
This week's player profile has been sponsored by Shamrocks. For the best in food and good times, it's Shamrocks, 2510 North Kings Highway across from Myrtle Square Mall.